After working with one-on-one clients and hundreds of members through my programs, everyone seems to be caught up on the very first thing, which is, what is my next financial step? And that's what this episode is going to be all about, because I want you at least getting on to the next step so that you can get to your bigger goal later. And it doesn't matter if that big thing later is 10, 20, 30 years away. I want you to know what it is for you that is the next step or steps in the next 3, 6, 12 months. Here's the thing about the brain and how it works, and this is science backed, by the way. It's that the subconscious mind, which really is the powerhouse, the workhorse that happens in the background and does most of the work for us, it really needs to know something that is tangible. So saying that you want to get rich or get wealthy or save more or invest, they're actually way too vague. It's too ambiguous. The subconscious mind doesn't even know what that means. So we need to get really specific. Kind of like if you were to close your eyes and imagine you celebrating with a friend, toasting to him or her, and you're saying, "Oh, I did it." What is that thing that you just did? And again, if that's 10, 20, 30 years away, fine, doesn't matter. But what can happen is if that big, huge, audacious goal that is really far away seems too massive and out of reach, then sometimes we can get overwhelmed, really sort of like sluggish and demotivated, because if you ever had this, thought that you're like, I don't even know how to get there. So I don't know, I need to leave it now because I can't even think about it. I'm so deflated and so demotivated. If that's ever happened to you, that's absolutely so normal, and it's actually not you, and there's nothing wrong with you at all. It's because you don't actually know what the next first step is, the next financial step, in this case, in the house of Miss Wealthy. So saving more, getting rich, having more time freedom is great, and I love that for you, but it's really just hope. It's a wish. There's not actually a plan or a step in place. So what is that thing for you that you want to see yourself have happen in the next 1 week, a month, 6 months, 12 months? It might be you want to save $10,000 so you can take your family on a trip to Fiji. It might be you want to invest $1,000 a month and keep investing $1,000 a month ongoing until next year when you review it. Or it might just be as simple as, I want to get educated. I want to learn about investing. But again, I want that to be specific. So I want to learn, from, 3 podcasts, or I want to read 1 book in the next month. Anything that is specific that the mind can go, yep, I know what to do now. Because even if you were to say, okay, well, that's what I want to do, there's still like micro steps within that. For you to save $10,000 a month for your Fiji holiday still involves actually tinier steps within that. That's something like setting up a sub account so that you have your funds separate from all of your other money, naming that sub account, putting in an actual plan so that like for your next paydays, let's say you get paid monthly, that you're actually putting in an amount every single month. It might be that the next step beyond that is actually automating it so it happens without you having to think about it. It might be, hey, I'm going to check in with a 10-minute check once a week. If you want to start investing, that might be, okay, well, now I need to know what the actual steps are. If I want to start with that $1,000, what broker do I want to use? What do I actually want to invest in? Do I actually know enough about taking the next step? And then if you take another step back, if I want to learn, then who do I want to learn from? What podcast do I want to listen to? Do I need to set it up on my phone? How am I going to listen to it? When am I going to do it? If I want to read a book, do I need to order that now? And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed right now. That's not the goal. But I do want whatever it is that the next thing is that you want to be something that I know you can tell me in a month or 12 months time that, hey, I did this thing, because it was really clear about what that step was. Here's the thing. You don't need to know what the next 10, 20, 40, 50 steps are. You just need to know what the next one is. But when we're really unclear, the next one step becomes really unclear. And so it gets put on the back burner. It doesn't happen. And then we revisit it or rethink about it like a month later and go, oh, I haven't done that thing. And God, I really suck. And I just don't want that to be your inner monologue. I've certainly done that before. Okay, but I'm going to give you a hack. And you are going to use this hack in literally so many areas of your life. And it's this. If you have a goal, even the next step, even like a wish, a hope, a dream, and it just doesn't sit right in your body. It might be, I really want to make $10 million, but you have this like pit in your stomach, heaviness, like you can't even breathe. You feel automatically like disappointed and deflated when you think about it. And that might be because you're like, I don't even know how that's going to happen because of what I make, or I'm not even investing yet, or I know what happens in our monkey mind. If you have discomfort, it can be in your chest and it can be in your stomach, it can be in your head, doesn't even matter where it is. If you're like, this is not sitting right, I want you to ask yourself two things. First, is it in the outcome? So is it in when I have that thing, does that feel really uncomfortable? Tony Robbins, I remember once when I went to one of his Date with Destiny programs, he used the word dis-ease. And if there is dis-ease, meaning if there is like a sense of unease in your body, then that's a warning sign that something isn't sitting right. Trust your gut and trust your intuition here, because your body knows. Your brain-heart connection is very, very strong. And so if you're sort of like, it's just not sitting right, then change it around a bit. Okay, well, if it's in the outcome, then does it need to be a different outcome for where it's sitting right for me? So that might be, if the outcome is, what if I shift that goal down a bit or up a bit? It doesn't necessarily mean that shifting a goal down is the correct move. And then just sort of sense check sort of where that is and where your body stops reacting, where there's just, I don't even want there to be excitement. I think a lot of the times we try to like replace, unease with, I'm meant to feel like really incredible and amazing and elated and crazy happy about this. And that's actually not the goal. The goal is just to feel nothing, neutrality. Because when there is nothing, it means there's no conflicts, there's no hype about it. There's, I don't want like hype to get you through the next week, but then the hype dies off eventually. So if you feel just really like there's no discomfort, there's no elation either, then that's great. That's perfect. Even if there's just still desire, great, but it doesn't have to be like this high. Second question is it in the process? Meaning, do I have dis-ease or discomfort, or is it just not really sitting right because of the process of getting there, meaning the journey of getting there? And it could be, I really don't know what I'm going to do, or I feel really overwhelmed about learning all of the investing jargon, for example. Or it could be, I really feel so uncomfortable about having the conversation with my partner about putting in a plan to save this money so we can all go to Fiji, because I don't know, he or she's not really into going on this holiday, or I don't know, they think that we can't save. It could just be in the process of it. So just check in with A, is it dis-ease, discomfort in the outcome, and shift that around if so. And then B, is it in the process? So do I need to resolve that? Do I need to have a conversation with my partner? Do I need to just go, hold on a minute, if I'm uncomfortable about the process of learning investing, for example, then what if I just, for the next month, make the goal something that I can hit? And this goes against what so many people try to teach you, which is like, go for that big goal, really strive for it, push, push, push. I actually don't want you to do that. I want you to choose a goal that you can hit, because the brain loves dopamine. You know this to be true because we're in a dopamine trigger society. Social media is one of them. Sugar, coffee, alcohol. Another way is actually like hitting the goal, getting it done, like having that sense of satisfaction, because it triggers a part in your brain that is the reward center. And this is a very, very real thing, scientifically backed and proven. Have something that you know you can hit, because then the brain goes, I did that. That was cool. That was fine. That was easy. What's the next thing? Even if it's like a micro, tiny thing. This is why this topic is about your next financial step, not your end goal in 30 years' time, because it's the next step. So if it's this thing in the process that isn't feeling right, then just drop it down. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to achieve anything. It actually means the opposite. You're probably going to achieve a hell of a lot more because you're setting yourself up to actually win and get there faster, because every step of the way is actually easier because you just backed it down a bit and gone, what if I just open a podcast and my goal is to listen to that one thing this week? And then you'll probably find yourself in a few days going, what might I be able to do in the next few days? So look at those two questions, find the conflict and just resolve it, because it's likely to be in those two areas, outcome or process. Now, if you want help, I'm your girl. Can get a bunch of goodies that's going to help you at every step along the way. Some are mindset, some are help with the next steps on investing, whatever it is. I've got you. And if it's not there, then send me a DM on Instagram and let me know where you're at so I can actually just get you moving to the next step. That might kind of help. Yeah. All right. I'll see you in the next episode.